strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
Myself is concerned, I was totally straight until through my second marriage. I've got 4 kids and grandkids.
Oh, honey, buckle up, because this tale, it's straight out of an industry horror novel, the type that's whispered about in penthouses and prayed over in private. A classic story, the all-powerful mentor and his dazzling protege. At first, it was magic. A Harlem-born dreamer with swagger for days rises to glory, guided by none other than the godfather of hits, Clive frickin' Davis. They were unstoppable, until they weren't. Now, that same fairy tale has twisted into a nightmare, and at the center of it all, Diddy. Yes, that Diddy. And guess who's suddenly playing footsie with the feds? Clive Davis. Baby, the betrayal is deliciously devastating. Once upon a time, these two were music industry royalty. Clive, with his golden ear, saw something fierce in young Diddy, a storm of charisma, vision, and ambition. Together, they didn't make hits, they made a dynasty. But now that dynasty is crumbling. And Clive? Oh, Clive is silent. That kind of silence screams betrayal. And according to the whispers echoing down Hollywood corridors, Clive's sudden cooperation with the feds isn't out of guilt. It's chess, not checkers.
No training in music.
None.
Did you think you'd be good at this?
I never thought I would have a musical ear. I never thought I'd have...
Let's not get it twisted. Clive Davis wasn't some passive executive sipping champagne in the background. No. He was the architect of Diddy's meteoric rise. Clive knew this kid from Harlem could flip hip-hop into a global phenomenon, and he wanted in. So when Diddy launched Bad Boy Records in '93, guess who was right there with the checkbook and connections? Clive. From the jump, it was a hit machine. Biggie, Faith Evans, Mace, a Bad Boy wasn't just a label, it was a lifestyle. And while Diddy was front and center, smiling in those shiny suits, Clive was the one running the boardroom behind the curtain. This wasn't mentorship, this was royal grooming. When Diddy got heat during the East Coast versus West Coast rap war, Clive stood tall. Nightclub shooting in '99, Clive didn't flinch. Even when Diddy settled that brutal assault claim, Clive stayed loyal. He wasn't just a supporter, he was Diddy's armor. But armor eventually rusts.
Davis has always assumed a far more active role than most record company presidents. That's why he was a pioneer in the 60s. It's also why he has survived into the 80s.
So now, after decades of riding high together, why is Clive suddenly ghosting Diddy at his lowest? Sweetheart, it's all about survival. Clive Davis isn't just a record exec, he's a legacy. A 90-something legend obsessed with how history will remember him. He made Whitney Houston a global icon, but her tragic downfall stained his name. He can't afford another mess on his hands. Not now, not with Diddy's name swirling in scandal that could burn down entire empires. So what does Clive do? He doesn't speak, he strategizes. He pulls a Houdini and vanishes from Diddy's side, letting the world and the media connect the dots. It's not just retreat, it's escape.
Drika, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact.
Word on the street, Clive's already talking. To the feds? Yup. According to sources very close to the investigation, Mr. Davis is giving up information on Diddy. The details are being kept airtight, but the implications? Massive. A man like Clive flipping on his own protege? That's desperation wrapped in designer silk. Remember, Bad Boy wasn't just Diddy's playground. It was a joint venture with Arista Records, aka Clive's baby, financially, professionally, personally. These two were fused at the hip. So if the feds are circling Diddy, guess whose name is on the paperwork too? But Clive's not just doing damage control. Translation, he's sacrificing Diddy to save his legacy. Cold-blooded? Absolutely. But effective? You better believe it. He's letting the world see. He's clean, he's corporate, he's untouched. Meanwhile, Diddy's empire is going up in smoke, and Clive, he's holding the match.
You know, attorneys say that this is the first time that they've met since 2018 when she attended the funeral for Kim Porter, which is the mother of Shawn Combs' 3 children. So to watch Shawn Combs watching her was really interesting because they haven't seen each other in at least 6 years, but he can't say anything. You know, this is a moment for him where he has to be silent, and right now we're hearing what she says in terms of what happened during the course of their over 10-year relationship.
And the fallout catastrophic. His protector, his fixer, the man who could make scandals vanish with a single call. Now, Clive is reportedly whispering in the ears of investigators while Diddy stands alone in court. Alone for the first time in his career. And it hurts. People close to him say this betrayal hit deep. Because this wasn't just business, this was family, built on decades of trust, late-night studio calls, and whispered deals in five-star suites. But now, it's all ashes. Diddy is isolated, his charisma cracking under pressure, his allies vanishing, and the one man who could have saved him is the one holding the dagger.
Any reaction to what she is saying on the stand?
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she has to say, as well as those jurors. People know that she was that star witness, the key person in all of this. When you think about that civil suit that came out in 2023, that was settled the day after, she really is the person that connects all the...
But let's get real. Why is Clive doing this now? Is this guilt? Some last-ditch moral cleanse before he meets the pearly gates? Or is it just survival instincts? Because, baby, Clive Davis is not playing checkers. He's rewriting history in real time. By turning on Diddy, Clive's recasting himself. No longer the puppet master, no longer complicit. He's the wise old owl warning everyone of the wolf he once nurtured. He's flipping the script and claiming innocence. But in this ruthless music industry, loyalty is a punchline, and Clive's betrayal, a brutal reminder that success costs everything, even your soul. Diddy's spiraling. His reputation's trashed. His empire under siege. And now, with Clive out of the picture, he's got no one to shield him from the storm.
And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Shawn Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Shawn Combs.
But honey, this betrayal? It's just one chapter in a book of horrors. To really get it, we have to dig deeper. Because Clive and Diddy weren't just business partners, they were entangled. In ways the tabloids never dared to publish. In ways that kept conspiracy theorists fed for years. And now, with Diddy drowning in lawsuits and criminal probes, every old rumor is clawing its way back to the surface and dragging Clive with it. Because, baby, this wasn't just betrayal. This was a powder keg, and the fuse has been lit.
At some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to these said freak-offs?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs, and I really did love him.
So let's spill the tea that's been simmering for years. Behind closed doors, whispers of what Clive Davis and Diddy really were to each other have never truly gone away. It wasn't just mentorship, it wasn't just business. If you believe Suge Knight, it was control. Absolute, unsettling, all-consuming control. Suge didn't hold back. He dropped bombshells claiming Diddy wasn't just backed by Clive. He was owned by him, molded, managed, and manipulated in ways that went way past music. And the way Suge told it, this wasn't about creative partnerships. It was about grooming, exploitation, and manipulation that stank of something too grotesque for the red carpet. The accusations were horrifying. Suge painted Diddy not as a mogul, but as a puppet, a man who had been groomed to serve not just the industry, but Clive Davis himself. It was disturbing, it was extreme, but it stuck. Fans dissected old videos, watched interviews on repeat, obsessed over eye contact and body language. Every awkward glance, every half smile was suddenly suspect.
And that is speaking to the psychological abuse, in addition to the physical abuse that she potentially experienced.
Yeah, she's definitely laying out someone who was young, who was influenced by wanting to have this record career. She signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment, led by Shawn Combs, and basically describes being enamored by Shawn Combs.
And just when we thought the smoke might clear, Jaguar Wright stormed in and poured gasoline on the fire. Jaguar! Fearless, loud, and done with protecting industry secrets, tore the lid off the whole situation. According to her, Clive didn't just groom Diddy, he allegedly ruled over a stable of stars with an iron fist. And Diddy, he wasn't just a victim, he allegedly helped run the machine. Jaguar alleged that Clive used everything at his disposal: threats, favors, manipulation, money to keep artists under his thumb. Want a Grammy? Play the game. Want radio airplay? Obey. Want to leave? Good luck. And Diddy, Jaguar claimed, played along and played enforcer, a rising star who knew the rules and didn't mind enforcing them, especially at those so-called parties. Let's talk about those parties. Jaguar said they weren't just gatherings, they were tests, traps, seductions dressed up as networking events. Young artists thrown into situations they weren't prepared for, with powerful men watching, judging, and choosing. If it's true, it's not just scandal, it's evil.
He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back. But he needed her back and under his control.
And the creepiest part, Jaguar swears Clive kept receipts. Allegedly, he had a vault. Yes, a vault of videos, audios, signed NDAs, and career-killing dirt. Blackmail? Insurance? Who knows? But according to Jaguar, if you crossed Clive, he had everything he needed to destroy you. Imagine it. Every secret meeting, every compromising moment, every whispered deal, all stashed away in some sick archive. Is it real? Nobody knows. But even the possibility has turned this federal investigation into something far more sinister. If Clive has that kind of leverage, and he's now whispering to the feds, what's he really trading?
I could be attracted to a man, while I still am very attracted to a woman.
And oh baby, the plot thickens. For years, people have raised eyebrows at Clive's connection to Whitney Houston and the unspeakable tragedy of her daughter, Bobby Christina. Both women, icons in their own right, gone under eerily similar circumstances. Theories swirled. Did Clive know more than he let on? Was there a darker truth behind those glamorous tributes? And now, with Diddy's scandal dragging Clive back into the spotlight, those same theories are rising from the grave. What did Clive know? And how far would he go to protect his empire? Did loyalty have a limit? Or were these stars expendable? For years, Clive's been painted as the maestro behind the curtain, shaping pop culture and discovering legends. But what if that was just the PR version? What if the real Clive was a master manipulator, building an empire on secrets, silence, and sacrifices? Diddy didn't just become a mogul, he was built into one. And as his power grew, maybe Clive felt it slipping out of his grasp.
Music is unique, music is special, music has a very individual, meaningful role in society, not only to you.
It didn't come when Diddy was on top of the world. It came when Diddy was weakest, drowning in lawsuits, facing criminal investigations, and getting dragged in the court of public opinion. Convenient, isn't it? Clive, the man who once defended Diddy through every scandal, is now helping the government. Now, he's rebranding himself as the elder statesman, the one willing to clean up the industry. But honey, let's not be fooled. This isn't about integrity. This is about self-preservation. He's pointing fingers while hiding his own fingerprints. And let's not forget those rumors about that vault. If Clive really did keep incriminating evidence on Diddy and others, is he using it now? Is he trading it for protection, for immunity? Is he feeding the feds just enough to shield himself while watching Diddy burn? Because if that's true, it's not just betrayal, it's a masterclass in ruthless survival.
That I have a very special connection with artists, with music. I certainly know I had it with him.
The music industry is shaking. This isn't just another scandal, this is an earthquake. Artists who used to post throwback pics with Clive and Diddy are deleting posts. Labels are issuing generic, bland statements. Everyone is scrambling to scrub their names from this mess before it spreads any further. And fans, they're left heartbroken. The people they looked up to, the songs they danced to, the albums that soundtracked their childhoods, suddenly feel dirt-tainted, fake. Because now it's not just about Diddy's crimes or Clive's betrayal, it's about the entire machine. A system built on power, manipulation, and silence. And the question everyone's afraid to ask, who's next? If Clive Davis can throw Diddy under the bus, the Diddy, his crown jewel, his Frankenstein's monster, then baby, no one is safe. What other secrets are buried in that vault? How many careers were bought, sold, and sacrificed to keep the truth buried? And the scariest part? We've only scratched the surface. Because when legends fall, they don't fall alone.